Hello there and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've got two brand new pairs of shoes to talk to you about, but first, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button to see loads more content from all of us here at Golfshake to help you play more and play better. Those of you that are regular viewers to the channel will know that recently we visited in St Ives, the HQ of Acushnet. Down there we looked at Titleist, we looked at some of the FootJoy clothing and also some of the FootJoy footwear. Now, we've been sent a couple of the newest pairs for 2024 to have a bit of a look at. So today we're going to be looking at the new Quantum shoe and the Pro SLX. So there's lots of different features and benefits of these shoes and we'll be talking you through those during the video. We're then going to get outside, play a few holes on the golf course here at Howley and tell you exactly what we think. So before we get into talking about the new Quantum shoe, one thing I wanted to mention was when we were at Acushnet, I actually had my shoes fitted, which is, I know it sounds weird, it's something that you probably don't normally do. I'm normally an 11 in every shoe that I've ever had, but when we went down there, FootJoy have a shoe fitting service, as you'd imagine with a footwear company as big as they are, to make sure that you get exactly the right fit shoe for you. And to my surprise, in FootJoy, 10.5 was what I came out at. And the two pairs that I've been sent today are both in 10.5, which is smaller than any shoe I've probably worn for the last 15 years maybe. So I will put them through their paces, tell you exactly what I think in terms of the fit when we get out on the golf course. But for now, let's talk about these shoes. First up, I've got the new Quantum golf shoe. Now, as you can see, spikeless. So we're expecting, particularly when we look at the foam here, lots and lots of comfort. So let's talk about the kind of technologies that FootJoy have used in here. So it has an Ortholite fit bed inside the shoe. Now, what does that mean? It means it's very spongy, it's very cushioning, but also it remains that way all the way through the life of the shoe. Now, the soft foam in the sole and in the midsole here is kind of the main talking point about this shoe. It is kind of comfort that has to be felt to be believed is the strapline for this shoe that FootJoy have put out there. So really looking forward to putting these on, giving you my kind of first impressions of it, but also obviously playing golf in it, which is what it's designed for. You can really feel how plush and soft this leather is on top of the shoe as well. Very subtle FootJoy branding there in the heel of it. And we can see really nice cushioning and quite a high kind of almost heel / Achilles kind of cushioning there at the back of the shoe too. In terms of the lacing, they're quite different to some that you'll get with FootJoy. They're more of a kind of rounded, almost wire kind of lacing in there. And then the tongue also fits nice and snugly under there as well. These are waterproof, they are leather, and like you say, they are spikeless as well. So I'm assured that the traction that you get with the outsole in these is very grippy because it needs to be when we're out there on the golf course. It's really going to test it today because it's a little bit dewy and wet out on the golf course. So I'm looking forward to putting these on, seeing exactly how comfortable they are and also playing some holes. So our next shoe to test is the new Pro SLX. Those of you that have had previous versions of Pro SL will know how fantastically comfortable these are, and they've always been very popular at retail. And also on tour, when you watch some of the best players in the world, they get a lot of use out there too. So let's talk about this new version. You can see it's changed a little bit in terms of its looks and also its kind of feel and design. So first of all, we're going to talk about the new power track system in this shoe. So basically this is advanced traction at the bottom of the shoe. So using this kind of shaping that they've got, this kind of X pattern on the bottom of the shoe as well, which for those of you Star Wars fans out there is called X-Wing. So those nerdier ones out there will absolutely love that. I thought it was quite cool. But yeah, it's a way of making the shoe more kind of flexible, I suppose, when we're walking, but also deliver the maximum amount of traction when we're playing golf out there on the course. So we want to get obviously as much grip as we can, but also transfer as much of that energy that we create during the golf swing into the amount of power that we can generate when we're hitting it as well. And that a lot of that comes from the ground, as you well know. In terms of the comfort, we've got the Stratofoam sort of midsole in there, so a little bit different to what we saw in Quantum, but still very, very comfortable. It's kind of a little bit more slimline as well, so a little bit lower kind of footbed, getting you a bit closer to the ground. But we've also got this really nice premium leather kind of feel to the top there, which is called chromo skin leather, which again, just feels amazing when you touch it, feels really nice and soft, and very similar kind of heel to what we saw in the Quantum as well, but with the addition of this kind of bit more stability around the back of the shoe there too. So what we'd expect from this is slightly different kind of feel when we're walking on it. It's a bit slimmer profile. I actually probably prefer the look of this a little bit, but I just know, looking at that Quantum shoe, it's going to be extremely comfortable. But that's all the tech that we've got about the shoes. Let's get out on the golf course, let's put them through their paces. We're going to play a few holes in each and tell you exactly what we think. Okay, so we're going to start with the Pro SLX, okay? Pop these on and see exactly how they feel. Firstly, the size is correct, yeah? So I can feel that they're the right size for me, which I was a bit worried about. So size 10.5 in FootJoy is definitely better for me. So if you're that person who, like me, has worn a certain size forever and might want to try some different ones, yeah, maybe you should go and get fitted and try some of the different sizes in FootJoy just to see exactly which one fits you best. But this shoe straight away feels very comfortable. I can really feel that support up the kind of back of the heel and onto the kind of Achilles area of the shoe, which I quite like. And they feel very, very stable. In terms of the kind of toe area of the shoe, the sort of toe box as you're looking down on it, there is a nice little bit of width in there as well. So if you're that kind of player who does need a bit more width in there, they kind of come up, I'd say, a little bit wider than some shoes that I've tried. But really, that acid test is getting out on the golf course and trying them. So we'll head out there now. So now I've had a chance to play a few holes in these shoes. So the SLX. They're very comfortable. They feel very kind of tight to the ground, which I really like when I'm playing golf. I don't want anything that's got a massive heel in it, and generally don't like anything that feels too kind of spongy. They're quite comfortable with that ortholite sole in there, and certainly feel quite grippy when I'm hitting shots as well off the fairway. Yeah, I mean, I actually really like them. The look of them when you look down on the shoe as well is quite plain, which I like. There's not too much going on, and they feel really nice and stable when I'm swinging in them. So lots of ticks in lots of boxes for these, really. So yeah, very, very good shoes, very impressed. So the biggest test I always find when trying a new pair of shoes is what it's like when I'm hitting a driver. I tend to use my feet a lot when hitting golf shots, so I really need that kind of stability and traction that hopefully these shoes are going to provide. So we're on the 13th here at Howley. We're just going to hit a driver, hopefully somewhere near the fairway, and see what these shoes feel like as I'm doing that. So here goes. Yeah, certainly felt very good. No kind of slipping. Normally that front foot can move quite a little bit, but yeah, the kind of traction and the fact that you feel nice and low to the ground in these, I think adds to that kind of feeling that you're kind of locked in and you're not going to move anywhere. So yeah, very, very good. So we've now changed into the new Quantum golf shoe from FootJoy, and very, very different feel. It's very much more kind of spongy, almost feels like you're walking on marshmallows. It's very, very soft. The heel is a bit higher. I can feel that that's lifted off ever so slightly, but looks wise, the actual shape of the toe is pretty similar. The leather kind of feels similar when you put them on, but there's a definite difference in the feel in your feet. So we're going to play a few holes now and see exactly what they're like compared to that Pro SLX. So like I said back on the tee, they do feel very, very different, almost like you've got some sort of Cuban heel in the back of the shoe. They're a little bit higher, sort of lifting you up and forward. It's just because of how much cushioning and foam there is in there. So if you really need that support and that kind of softness, I suppose, in the sole, these shoes could be right up your street, to be honest. I think they are one of the most comfortable shoes I've put on, and it's just that foam in the midsole and the heel there that's doing that. But yeah, I mean, they still feel fairly stable in the sort of iron shot and everything that I've hit so far, but quite different to the Pro SLX. So like I said, when wearing the Pro SLX, for me, the biggest test is hitting a driver. I want to feel that stability in the ground. I want to feel the traction that I need when I'm hitting a shot with a driver. So it's a really good test of a tee shot here on 15 at Howley. So we're going to try and hit one over that bunker and see if we can keep our balance as we do it. Yeah, left heel slipped a little bit, but still, to be honest, when you look at the sole of these, you don't really expect them to be particularly grippy, but that actually felt pretty good. So now I've had a chance to play half a round of golf in either pair of these shoes. So the Pro SLX and now the new Quantum, I can say both are very, very good. I've really enjoyed playing in them both. As you can see here today, it's quite a blustery and wet and windy day. Hasn't been the easiest one, so it's been a good one to test both of these spikeless models. And whilst I would say that SLX gives me a bit more traction, I feel a bit more grounded, the comfort that you get from Quantum is just unbelievable. They are extremely comfortable golf shoes. So if you're someone who prioritizes that, maybe doesn't need the amount of traction that I do because your swing's not quite as aggressive potentially, then Quantum could be the shoe for you. But if you really want that kind of lower profile, high comfort, and also that kind of more, I don't know, technical golfing shoe, then I think SLX probably ticks all those boxes for you. But you know, that's why FootJoy do make different models of shoe, because not everything suits everybody. So make sure you go try them. And obviously, like I said at the start, the sizing is obviously a thing that you need to try too. So I got fitted for these, realized I was half a size smaller than I had been getting in shoes for such a long time. So I recommend that you go and do that with a FootJoy stockist, or go along to one of their custom fitting days. But hopefully you've enjoyed that review. It's been great to test those shoes. Keep watching all of our content to help you play more and play better.